Hello, guys and gals, and we are back with another book review. We have The Melancholy Death of Oyster and Other Stories by Tim Burton. And just the Tim Burton, the one that wrote The Nightmare Before Christmas, I believe, along with like The Corpse Bride, and I think he started with like Frankenweenie or something like that. But anyways, but yeah, I didn't realize that he had written other stories, but apparently I found this book at a bookstore, and so yeah. Um, anyways, we can go over the list of them. Some of these are just like a couple sentences long, these stories. Some of them are like a couple pages. But, they're really, really interesting stories. But anyways. Yeah. Yeah. Anyways. I think one of the longest stories is probably The Melancholy Death of Oyster Boy. I'm not exactly sure. Uh, all these are a very quick read. The book itself is a quick read. It was, I don't even know how many pages it was. 109, 13. The acknowledgments are on like page 116. 118. I think it's a 5. 115. So, yeah. What's interesting is there's also pictures. I would imagine that Tim Burton also drew, which is super interesting. So it doesn't say here anywhere that the pictures are by anybody else, I don't think. So I would imagine they're by Tim Burton. Anyways, it's an interesting book. If you're familiar with The Nightmare Before Christmas, The Corpse Bride, stuff like that, then you're probably familiar with the kind of stories that are in this book. They're kind of strange, but also kind of cool. Apparently someone who used to live in town, they moved away. They don't live in town anymore. When they were a kid, they did a book report, or they did some kind of report on Tim Burton or something, because um, he was like their favorite, their favorite actor or Hollywood personality or something. And this person actually did an interview with Tim Burton. I think it was over the phone, if I'm not mistaken. And so yeah, apparently. But anyways, some of these stories are, as I said before, some of them are several pages long, and others are like maybe just a couple lines, which is really an interesting way to convey it. Kind of, in my mind anyway, it displays different ways that stories can be told, I would say, because stories can be told in very few words or in a lot of words, actually. And sometimes there's pictures also, and they say a picture is worth 1,000 words, so it's like, okay. But it's really, really an interesting book. I think it basically didn't take me too long to read this book. It is a very strange book, but also a pretty good one, I would say. But anyways, I don't know. I honestly felt this was a really fascinating book. and it's one that I would highly recommend check out. There really aren't any spoilers in here because um, it says on the cover the melancholy death of Oyster Boy and other stories, so you basically know what fate befalls dear Oyster Boy, of course. But it is rather strange, which is pretty cool. Um, there are. Let me just see how many stories there are in here. I was gonna just try and figure that out real quick. And again, some of these are just like one page, and some of them are several pages. 23. I think I see 23. Yeah, 23 stories here. And, so yeah. Very, very interesting. Um, but yeah. I really wasn't aware that Tim Burton had written a book, but, apparently he had, which was really, really cool. And I happened to find it for a little bit of nothing, which is kind of cool, considering I think it's kind of like a rare book. I don't know, maybe it isn't. But anyways, yeah. So yeah, the melancholy death of Oyster Boy and 22 other stories. And you know the stories can't be very long if the acknowledgments page is on page 115. And that's fine. There's also, like I said, a lot of pictures, which is kind of cool. But anyways, yeah. This is again a book that I would highly recommend to check out, but then again, that's just my opinion. Either take my opinion or leave it. Either way is fine. What I like most about this book would have to be the creativity involved here. The stories are a little bit macabre sometimes and strange, but they're all really pretty good, I would say. But yeah, that is just my opinion, though. You can either take my opinion or leave it. And that is going to do it for this video. If you like this content, make sure you like and subscribe. Ring the bell so you know when I upload. Also, if you want to support me in any way, or if you want to join the Discord server, all the information will be in the description below. And as always, thanks for watching, everyone. You are loved, and have a great day.